Hei, sudah bangun? Kamu mau aku buatin sarapan apa?
Hello everyone, thank you for coming and clicking on this video. In this video, I'm going to talk about the storyline of Love for Sale, a movie that's about Richard, played by Gading Marten, who's trying to meet the challenges set by his friends, and his encounter with Arini, played by Della Dartyan. Without further ado, here it is, Love for Sale. The movie kicks off by showing our main character, Richard, waking up in the morning. Richard is a guy in his 40s who lives on his own. He stays in a two-story building where the first floor houses the printing business he inherited from his parents, and the second floor is where he lives. He manages the print shop successfully with 5 employees. Despite being alone, Richard is quite rigid, tough, and disciplined. You can see this in the way he runs his business. Then, at an event with his friends, one of them, Rudy, is getting married in 2 weeks. Knowing that Richard is still single, they make a bet and challenge him. They bet on whether Richard will bring a partner to Rudy's wedding or not. Richard, feeling his pride is at stake, accepts the bet and the challenge. Richard starts trying to find a partner, from checking social media to reaching out to old connections through business cards.
Halo?
Halo. Halo.
Apa namanya? Laki nih. Dia nggak tahu.
Richard then met an old friend and sought a solution to his problem. His friend, named Panji, gave him a phone number. The owner of the number was Kiki. Richard then arranged to meet Kiki at a cafe. After waiting, Kiki arrived. Physically, Kiki was beautiful and matched Richard's preferences. However, during their conversation, Richard realized that Kiki seemed like someone who wanted to get married quickly and was pressuring to meet Kiki's parents. Shocked and startled, Richard excused himself to the restroom and escaped.
Iya.
Ke WC dulu ya.
Pokoknya nanti aku bawa ke rumah deh.
Richard then tried to ask his employee, Dante, to accompany him to Rudy's wedding event. But Dante ended up sharing Richard's invitation with their colleagues, causing Richard to feel embarrassed and angry.
Kamu nggak usah balik lagi sini ya. Bikin malu saya, kamu tahu nggak?
While checking on his employees' work, Richard came across a flyer and brochure from Love Incorporated. It's a company that offers companion or partner services through a temporary arrangement. After confirming, Richard agreed to use their services. On Rudy's wedding day, Arini arrived. She was a beautiful and captivating woman provided by Love Incorporated. On the way to the event, Arini gathered all the details about Richard, his relationships, and his friends. Once at the event, Arini adeptly played her role as Richard's girlfriend. She conducted herself skillfully and professionally, delivering measured and appropriate remarks that convinced Richard's friends that she was indeed his girlfriend. The event went smoothly, and Richard was pleased to prove himself and maintain his dignity in front of his friends.
Gitu dong, diajak, kenalin. Iya, aku yang terlalu sibuk ngurusin keluarga.
After the event, Richard gave a generous tip to Arini for her outstanding performance.
Tapi perjanjian kerja kita itu 45 hari, Mas. Bukan 4 sampai 5 hari.
With no other option and feeling sympathy for Arini, Richard invited her to go home with him. Thus began Richard's 45-day journey with Arini. Arini transformed Richard's life by 180 degrees. She took excellent care of him, preparing breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This was a stark change from Richard's usual instant noodle diet. Arini was attentive to Richard's needs and even shared his hobbies, like watching soccer. One day, Arini surprised everyone by bringing breakfast to Richard's office. This left his employees astonished, unable to believe that their previously unremarkable boss now had such a beautiful partner. Arini often brought food for Richard's employees as well, making her easily accepted and liked by them. Richard's life became colorful with Arini around. Over time, love blossomed in Richard's heart due to Arini's kindness and attention. Happiness filled Richard's life as Arini introduced him to her friends, and he stepped out of his comfort zone. Arini's presence also transformed Richard's demeanor. He became kinder and more understanding towards his employees.
Buruan makan. Coba lu bayangin, kita kantor udah berapa lama? Baru sekarang kan makan siang di luar bareng bos.
As Richard's relationship with Arini deepened, she introduced him to her parents. Richard was warmly welcomed by Arini's parents. During the conversation, Richard learned about Arini's difficult life and how she supported her family alone. This further grew Richard's love and admiration for Arini. One day, Panji visited and got to know Arini. Finally, the reason for Richard's single status was revealed. It turned out that Richard still had feelings for his former love, Maya. They were high school sweethearts, but due to religious differences, their relationship faced opposition from Richard's family, and Maya had to leave. Since then, Richard had closed himself off from other women until he met Arini. Richard felt grateful and happy for Arini's presence in his life.
Jadi kamu udah bisa lupain Maya.
Then, one morning, Richard woke up as usual, but Arini was nowhere to be found. He tried to contact her but couldn't reach her. The security guard informed Richard that early in the morning, Arini had left with a large bag. Richard was puzzled about where Arini could have gone.
Bukan, ini bukan kantor. Nggak ada kantor. Ini sama sana, semua rumah-rumah di sini, rumah semua.
As a last resort, Richard visited Arini's parents' house and spoke to her father.
Loh, kok jadi kayak beneran begini?
Pak,
Apa?
Bapak bener nggak ingat saya?
Upon arriving there, Richard realized that the day Arini left was exactly 45 days since their contract began. Richard finally understood and accepted that Arini had completed her task and her role in his life.
Aku cinta kamu, matahariku.
Then, one night, Richard gathered all his employees. He entrusted his company to them for its continuation. Richard decided to embark on a solo journey to find his happiness. He felt it was time to explore the world, learn, and experience new things in the remaining days of his life.
Bang Bawa mau kemana, Pak? Saya percayain kantor ini sama kalian.
Love for Sale is a heartwarming film that can evoke feelings of affection. Della Dartyan perfectly portrays Arini, embodying the ideal woman longed for by men. The movie teaches us about love and the selflessness to let go. That concludes the plot summary of Love for Sale. Thank you for watching until the end. Don't forget to subscribe, like if you enjoyed it, and share it with your friends. Also, remember to turn on notifications so you won't miss our future videos. This is Mayo, signing out.